The only way that we can really judge the Brexit party in the round at the moment is by looking at its leader, looking at you. So let's look at you for a moment.
Well,
do you still want to replace the NHS with a private insurance-based system?
I never did. I would like to take the burden off the NHS. I mean, if you want to go back,
okay, yes, I do want to go back.
This is really very boring, isn't it?
All you want
to do is go back to start from years ago. Why don't we talk about now in British politics? Why don't we talk about the sea change that is going on out there?
You are trying to lead an insurgent party to replace the main parties. Therefore, you're an important figure in this. I think we are going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. I would feel more comfortable. My money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company than just trusting giving us £100 billion a year to central government. Do you still hold that view?
If I was encouraged to opt out of the system to relieve the burden off the National Health Service, I would do so gleefully. Do you want to discuss these European elections or not?
Yes, I certainly do. But
Go on then, let's try.
Do you still believe that worrying about global warming is the stupidest thing in human history?
I believe that if we decide in this country to tax ourselves to the hilt, to put hundreds of thousands of people out of work in manufacturing industries, given that we produce less than 2% of global CO2, that isn't terribly intelligent. But as I say, here we are with one of the biggest changes in politics that's ever occurred, and you're not even interested.
Do you still
What's wrong with the BBC?
Do you still want to
What is wrong with the BBC?
Do you still want to roll back gun controls and reintroduce handguns to this country?
This sums it up. Do you know, I've been going around the country speaking at packed rallies every night, and do you know who's not there? The BBC. And from this line of questioning now, I can see why.
Do you still?
You're just not interested, are you?
Do you still feel uncomfortable with foreign languages being spoken on trains?
Let's talk about democracy. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about competence in politics. This is ludicrous.
Do you still feel that people with HIV shouldn't be allowed into this country?
Do I think the National Health Service is there for British people? Yes, I absolutely do.
So you still do.
This is absolutely ludicrous. I've never in my life seen a more ridiculous interview than this. You are not prepared to talk about what is going on in this country today. You're in denial. The BBC's in denial. The Tory and Labour parties are in denial. I think you're all in for a bigger surprise on Thursday week than you can even imagine.
We have talked about it. Do you still admire Vladimir Putin?
No. I've never admired Vladimir Putin.
You asked,
I said I wouldn't like to live in his country.
You asked which current world leader you most admired. You told GQ magazine, as an operator, but not as a human being, I would say Putin. The way he played the whole Syria thing,
not as a human being. So I don't like him as a human being. What is your question? What is the relevance of this?
I'm trying to work out who you are and where the Brexit Party, which wants to destroy the party system, is going.
You haven't asked about a single other member of the Brexit Party. You haven't commented on the fact we've got the most diverse list of candidates of any party fighting in this election.
From the Revolutionary Communist Party right through to the right.
Well, that's worth discussing, isn't it? How have we managed to get left and right together? These things are really interesting to your viewers, not trawling back through a series of quotes from years ago.
Do you still want to slash the size of the state?
Absolutely. I want people to have more freedom. Absolutely. And, you know, particularly 5.4 million people out there acting as sole traders, running small businesses, and there's nobody in government on their side. Let's make their lives easier. They'll create more jobs, pay more taxes, and it'll be good for our country.
Well, let's return to the thing that you are most well known for, to a lot of people watching, which is that famous poster, the Breaking Point poster that UKIP put up.
Right.
Can I ask you, would the Brexit Party put that poster up?
Well, we're in different circumstances because Mrs Merkel is not suddenly saying, let's open our doors to everybody.
Yeah, but
and as you know, or maybe you don't, as years go by, decades evolve, different issues come to the fore. Throughout that period of time, there is no question that the number one issue in British politics was immigration, people's concerns over open borders, its impact on wages, access to public health care. The number one issue in British politics now is democracy, the failure of our political parties to keep their promise. That is what the country is debating.
But that poster sent a very, very clear message about migrants. Are you saying the Brexit Party would not put up a poster like that?
Well, it wouldn't, because it isn't the burning issue of the time.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret helping
that poster?
Do I regret helping?
Do you regret that poster and the message it sent?
It was the truth. And if you think about that poster, it's transformed European politics. It's changed Italian politics. Mrs Merkel made a very big mistake.
Nigel Farage, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.